Morning, everybody. So we'll jump straight into it because we're on a tight timeline. I think like many people in Dubai, when Expo 2020 was coming to an end, we were like, no, don't let it end. This is too good. So it's great to be here talking about the next chapter with you this morning, Nadimeh. First off, give us a helicopter view. Sort of what is Expo City 2020? And how is it born out of Expo City Dubai? And how is it born out of the Expo 2020?
Sure. Thank you all for being here today. It's a really interesting subject. I've learned so much so far about just how important spaces that we live in are. And that was something that was very present as we developed Expo 2020 Dubai. So when we were working on the master plan and the urban plan for Expo 2020, it was with the thought that we need to repurpose 80% of everything that we build for the event. But that wasn't enough. We needed to look at that sustainable development from an ongoing perspective. And we looked at the vision of His Highness in all the work that we've done. We've seen it in the 2040 master plan and the urban plan, and some of the best urban planners in the world worked with us on developing a community. And I think that I'm going to underline that word because community is where it all starts. It's a community that brings together bright minds to continue to innovate. You saw that in Expo 2020 Dubai, which was the largest post-pandemic in-person gathering ever. And so I get asked that question a lot now. What is Expo City Dubai and what are we doing there? And the short answer is that we are the future of the Expo continuing from an intangible perspective. So a lot of the thought leadership that was raised in Expo 2020, we're moving that forward. We are a mixed-use development. And so we have commercial buildings, we have residential planned, and it goes back to the previous presentation of how an urban plan is for a city, and that's to ensure that 20-minute connectivity. The metro that was built for Expo 2020 Dubai is still there. The city is open to the public. We've got Fan City for the World Cup happening right now. We have education through our education program, school visits, and we've got the theme pavilions that are open and operational right now for visitors, and anybody can visit the site. It's non-ticketed, so it's open to the public, and it's beautiful just to go there. We've got the 5-kilometer walking and running path, the 10-kilometer bike path, and we've already hosted several sports events there during the Dubai Fitness Challenge.
Well, I know my 7-year-old girl is looking forward to going to your winter celebration that you've got going there as well. So if we look at this, I mean, we've heard a lot this morning about the human lens. So if you look at this from a human perspective, how is Expo City Dubai building in that human-centric approach, both in terms of the physical side, mental and well-being, and even sustainability? How are you building a human-centric view into that?
That's a great question, Scott. And I think what it boiled down to for us is we were developing the physical site. So we have 123 buildings that are LEED certified. They're all LEED Gold, and 7 of them are LEED Platinum. So the physical aspect and from a sustainability approach was looked after. And I really liked what Mr. Shala said earlier in his opening remark about we look at the sustainability of the environment, we need to look at the sustainability of the individuals as well. And so we registered as the first well-certified community pilot program in the region. And so Expo City Dubai, as one of the 5 zones in the 2040 master plan, will be a well-certified community, and we're working towards that. Now, what does that involve? It involves ensuring that the places that people live in have all the aspects that Mr. Shala talked about in his opening remarks. It's about green space. It's about ensuring the work-life balance. It's about ensuring people are not stuck in traffic for hours on end. And so for us, for example, we've pedestrianized the entire development. The core central business district of Expo City Dubai is all pedestrianized. So that brought to mind micromobility, and how do we tackle that as a challenge? And it's something I think that as we start working and as urban planners start looking at sustainable growth and looking at the environment and how people live in that environment, these challenges are something that need to be looked at. So, you know, how do people commute, especially when 6 months of the year, it's quite hot here. So it's not a simple walk. So we need to ensure that we cover all of those things for the residents, the visitors, the people that come and interact at Expo City Dubai.
Well, anyone that visited Expo 2020 knows that it's a perfect place to get your steps in, because there's a lot of space there to explore. So we kind of there talked a little bit about the what, in terms that you have registered to be the first community in the Middle East to register for the community standard. Tell me a little bit more about the why. Why did you want to be the first in that space? Because we've heard about buildings. Why also, you talked about community before, just why it was important as a community to go there.
So 7 years ago, when we were sitting with the urban planners and trying to determine what kind of a city we want to develop as the next chapter of Expo 2020 Dubai, we looked at the building through that human lens, the building of the actual assets. So the 80% that I'm talking about that was repurposed was not only infrastructure, but the buildings themselves, and those are low-rise campus-style buildings. For those of you that have visited, you'll notice that there's mature trees already placed, and so the sense of wellness, I love walking there. I'm grateful that I work there, and every chance I get to take somebody on site and show them around, it immediately just calms me. With the beautiful music, the music that was there during the expo is still playing, the water feature, et cetera. So when we started looking at how do we build to make sure that it is a place where people want to live. It's a place where people want to work, their children to go to school. And so this is all pre-pandemic. And then the pandemic happened, and we went back and we had some tenants that had already signed up pre-pandemic. And one of the most interesting discussions I had was with the CEO of one of the companies who said, we haven't changed our space requirements for what we require. What we've done is changed the internal space to ensure that that well factor is there for our employees. And so corporations, and I know you and I discussed this very briefly early on, corporations are starting to click into that mindset of their employees' wellness is very important. So we had all of this in place pre-pandemic. We were in talks with Delos. I remember meeting Paul quite a while ago to talk about the program. And so we thought, because of the checklist that you need, we've got it all. So we went ahead, and it was the natural progression.
I just wanted, because it's been brilliant, and as a mental health advocate, it's been fantastic to see wellness talked about so much, and congratulations to the organisers of the conference. I'd heard ESG described recently as moving forward the license to operate for organisations. Do you think we've crossed the point where wellness is now no longer a nice to have for organisations, but it's indeed fundamental to their sustainable future moving forward?
I think that, and we've seen it with, and so we're taking a bit of a departure, but you look at the quiet quitting that was happening, and people have realized, I think, that the time spent, 97%? I learned a lot of scary facts this morning. 97% of our life is spent indoor. So if you're not able to provide a work environment to your employees then you are probably going to see that quiet quitting happen very, very quickly. So when we talk to companies right now that are interested to move to Expo City Dubai, the reason that they're looking to move is because their employees will be in a place that has a park next door, that might have a museum next door, that will have a concert happening that evening, that their kids can walk to school. So it's that integrated community again. And so we have a checklist with the corporates. It's like an interview now. You know, what do you have for our employees that will benefit them if we move here? Which is beautiful to see. And so yes, the short answer is absolutely. It's becoming more and more prevalent.
That's amazing to hear. Final question really quickly as well. We know 2023 is going to be huge. Expo City hosting COP28. How are you leveraging your experience from Expo 2020 and prioritizing sustainability ahead of that conference?
So we built a world-class event space. And that event space will continue to attract world-class events like COP28. And so we work very closely with the organizers to host them in our space. But sustainability is also key for Expo City Dubai. So we have a net zero journey that we're on as well. We work very closely with our tenants to ensure that that is part of their remit as well. And sustainability continues to be something that we work on. Terra, the pavilion, is open, and it still is about sustainability. And we bring kids constantly, students, to come and learn more about sustainability. So it was a natural fit to host COP28 at Expo City Dubai.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, time is now gone for us. Please join me in thanking Nadimeh for her insights.
Thank you so much. Thank you.